up, Zoe?
These are 6 of some of the creepiest and most disturbing science experiments throughout human history.
Right. Wow, throughout the human history?
Number 6.
Damn.
The concept has become almost a staple in...
What the fuck? Like, look at this shit. What the fuck could they possibly be doing on this guy or this person? What? You might as well just kill the motherfucker. Like, come on.
Science fiction. Mind control. However, what if it's not as fictional as you may have thought? Scientists at the University of California were able to develop cyborg beetles by implanting electronic components into the beetles' cocoons. The insects could then actually be controlled via a remote control and instructed how and where to fly, almost like an RC helicopter.
Messing with nature. Stop it.
The experiment was then pushed a stage further when the military started to experiment on rats and implemented heat sensors and small cameras onto the tiny creatures.
The fuck, man?
The military's main goal with this is to create means of conducting safer search and rescue missions or for surveillance using the rats and beetles. Essentially, the scientists turn neurons in the rats' brains on and off using different colors of light. The really creepy part is that scientists believe this opens up the possibility for potential human mind control in the near future.
I'll be damned somebody control my fucking shits. You got me fucked up. No, bitch. I'm not getting mind controlled, right? Not like this. Because I think we're all. But I'm not getting mind controlled. My kids not getting mind controlled. My kids not getting mind controlled. And my kids isn't getting mind. You can nope. No. You're not putting nothing in here. No. Fuck. You're not. Fuck.
Number 5.
Right.
For decades, the Soviet Union actually created and maintained a secret lab known as the Chamber, Laboratory 1, and Laboratory 12, which led a sinister program to devise new methods of poisoning people. Beginning in 1921 and continuing for most of the 21st century,
Sons of bitches.
The Chamber was used as a covert research facility for secret police agencies.
Right.
Prisoners from Russian labor camps, or gulags, were exposed to a number of deadly poisons in the chamber, including mustard gas, ricin, digitoxin, and more. The purpose of which was to find a tasteless, odorless chemical that could not be detected in a dead body. Men and women of varying ages and physical conditions were brought to the laboratories, where they were given the poisons which would be mixed into a meal or drink, or served as a medication. Eventually, a preparation with the scientist's desired properties was developed, and it was called C2.
Oh yeah?
C2 was not detectable post-mortem, and according to witness testimonies, a victim who was given C2 changed physically, becoming shorter and weaker, and after falling silent and calm, died within only 15 minutes.
Damn!
People of varied physical conditions and ages were brought to the labs in order to have a more complete picture for the action of each poison. In addition to human experimentation, the scientists would also execute every prisoner brought down to the lab who survived the poisonous effects.
You're fucking
Number
with,
4,
like,
the
come on.
Stanford prison experiments. Conducted at Stanford University on the morning of August 17th, 1971, a group of young men in the Palo Alto area received visits from local police officers and were arrested for armed robbery and burglary.
Okay.
Their neighbors watched on as the young men were searched, handcuffed, and forced into the back of the police cars, not realizing that it was all part of a prearranged setup. The students were taken to a Palo Alto police station where they were booked, fingerprinted, moved to a holding cell, and blindfolded. Finally, they were transported to the Stanford University Psychology Department, or as it was referred to for the experiments, the Stanford County Prison. The point of the experiment was to essentially demonstrate how authority and power dynamics affect a human being's capacity for evil. 24 male students of Stanford University were chosen and randomly assigned roles of either prisoners or guards, and the so-called Stanford County Prison was just a mock-designed prison in the basement of the Stanford Psychology Building. Those who were assigned as guards began to humiliate and psychologically abuse the assigned prisoners with little to no instruction to even do so.
You motherfuckers.
Some of the guards would do pointlessly cruel things to the prisoners, for instance, waking them up at off hours of the night and forcing them to do jumping jacks, or...
No. See, I don't know if I can be a prisoner because I need my full 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I need my beauty shits. That's all I'm saying. I be damn, you gonna wake me up in the middle of my deep ass sleep. You got me fucked up. Oh, and if I'm having a dream and you wake me up, you're fucking dead.
Threatening them with batons and much worse. The prisoners in turn became submissive and depersonalized, taking the abuse and saying very little in protest.
Right.
When prisoners would request to leave the experiments, they would be told this is a real prison environment and they could not leave.
Oh.
A few prisoners started to experience slight mental breakdowns within a few days and were only then allowed to leave the experiments.
God damn it! Fucked up! You don't know! I mean, God! I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm burning up inside, don't you know? I just fucking can't take it. I feel so fucked up inside. I feel really fucked up inside. You don't know. I gotta go. I can talk or anything.
Damn.
I can't say that. I'm fucked up. I don't know how to explain it. I'm all fucked up inside!
The behavior of everyone involved became so extreme that the experiment, which was meant to last 2 weeks, was terminated after 6 days.
Yeah. Can't be fucking people's minds like that.
Number 3. For you animal lovers out there, this one may be a little disturbing.
Damn.
In 1940, Russian scientists released a video of their experiments which involved severed dog heads being kept alive for several hours.
Peanut.
The severed heads would wiggle their ears in response to sounds and even lick their mouths. The scientists who were behind the experiment claimed they were able to keep the animals alive by attaching an artificial blood circulation system to the head. That was just the first time that scientists had created these so-called zombie dogs. In 2005, American scientists tried again by flushing all the blood from the dogs' bodies and replacing it with oxygen and sugar-filled saline.
What?
3 hours later, after the team gave the dogs a blood transfusion and an electric shock, the dogs were back from the dead with fully animated severed heads, one even allegedly regaining consciousness.
That's not right.
There's only footage of the 1940 experiment that's available on the internet. If it makes you feel any better, the experiments kind of had good intentions, as this kind of treatment could apparently one day save people from hemorrhaging blood too quickly.
Not gonna lie,
Number 2.
that was really hard to look at.
During the time of the Holocaust, the Nazis decided to perform several experiments on humans, causing the victims to suffer to unbearable degrees, and for the most part, resulted in death. These torturous experiments were done on concentration camp prisoners during World War II, most of whom were Jews. One of the most feared doctors during this time was Josef Mengele, who was also known as the Angel of Death.
Oh my God.
He lived in the Auschwitz concentration camp, and what he enjoyed most was experimenting with the genetics of twins and people with deformities. He experimented on over 1,000 pairs of twins, with only about 200 surviving the experiments. However, survivors of the experiments didn't live long regardless, as most were killed anyway. The Nazis wanted to know if a person's joints and limbs could be removed and transplanted into someone else. These cruel experiments led to scores of concentration camp prisoners having limbs needlessly amputated. The aim was to study the regeneration of bones, muscles, and nerves. Every attempt to transplant a limb or joint was a failure. Many were killed, mutilated, and exposed to excruciating pain. Sections of muscle, bone, and nerves were also removed in fruitless attempts to regenerate those body parts. Other horrific Nazi experiments also consisted of forcing victims to drink seawater in hopes that they would find a way to make seawater drinkable, but failed every single time. Scientists forced victims to drink only seawater and deprived them of all food and fresh water. The experiment became so unbearable that some victims actually licked a freshly mopped floor just to get a small amount of fresh water.
Wow.
Number 1.
I thought he was on number 1, bitch.
There have been many reports of North Korean human experimentation of prisoners in gas chambers, testing deadly chemical weapons, and surgery without anesthesia. These reports show human rights abuses similar to those of Nazi and Japanese human experimentation in World War II. The North Korean government, of course, denies these allegations and claims that all prisoners in North Korea are humanely treated.
Which is bullshit.
One former North Korean female prisoner shared what she witnessed claiming 50 healthy women prisoners were selected and given poisoned cabbage leaves, which all the women were forced to eat despite cries of distress from those who had already eaten them.
Oh my shit!
According to the woman, all 50 were dead after 20 minutes of vomiting blood.
Oh
All
my!
50 women ate the leaf, as refusing to do so would have meant that they and their families would be severely punished. Kwan Hyuk, who was a former prison head of security at Camp 22, described laboratories equipped respectively for poison gas, suffocation gas, and blood experiments in which 3 or 4 people, sometimes families, are the experimental subjects. After undergoing medical checks, the chambers are sealed and the poison is injected through a tube, while scientists observe from the outside. Kwan even stated, "I saw an entire family being killed. They were put in the gas chamber where they all suffocated. The last to die was the youngest son." Kwan stated the parents tried to save the children using mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for as long as they had the strength, and that it was the most horrific and evil thing he had ever seen.
Oh my god. To watch a goddamn... Like, to watch one person die in front of your eyes, that's gotta be hard. But to watch a whole goddamn family, man, god damn. And see, and this is one of the reasons why I don't like doctors or anybody that would do tests on me, because I need to know what the fuck is going on before you do it. Fuck, all of those big words. Fuck those scientific terms. My vocabulary is at an all-time low. It always has been, it always will. I like everything to be simple and keep it short and to the point. Don't be talking about some bullshit, some other shit that has nothing to do with the fuck is going on. Because I need to know what the fuck is going on before you start experimenting on me and testing me and questioning me and shit like that. Because, like, you and I you know, we're all gonna die one day. You know, nobody lives forever physically, but I don't want to, like, but the worst kind of death for me is torture, being tortured. Like, I don't wanna go through all of that shit, man. Just kill me within seconds, or like a half of a second or something, you know? Like, I don't want to be burned to death. I don't want to freeze to death. I don't want to be poisoned to death. I don't want to do anything where I'm suffering before I die. Oh my goodness, because if that shit happens, if you make me suffer, I'm going to come back. If there's an afterlife, I'm going to come back and haunt the shit out of you. I'm going to fuck with you until I feel like I need to stop. That's it. And messing with the fucking animals and bugs and stuff. Hey, don't fuck with nature. That's all I'm saying. Some things just do not need to be messed with and fucked with. But you're fucking with nature and humans and animals and stuff like that. Just stop. Cause I have a good feeling that nature and the universe and stuff like that does not like what we're doing. Some of us are doing with that. But like I said before, people are just gonna do whatever the fuck they want. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. But hey, I'm doing me, you know. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, mate.